So do you think, like, women always say they don't want toxic men, but is there something about us that maybe we like the games?
Yes.
No. Personally, no. I don't like the games. I don't like the games.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like there's a lot of like childish stuff that goes with toxicity, which I don't like.
Okay.
I think it depends on. So I don't think you like the toxicity. I think you like the person, and maybe you do like the toxicity because you like that person, like it's a part of them. But I just feel like you're more attracted to that person, so you take that. You know how like it's like for better or for worse.
Yeah.
So you kind of take that from that person. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but for better or for worse, I'm not there. As soon as you show me worse, I'm out.
I feel like, you know, we can do better for ourselves. And it depends on how much you want for yourself. Like if you say, do you know what, I want better. I have this standard up here. Like for me right now, there's a standard I want. There's like a level of commitment and generosity and attitude and behavior I want from a person. So it's like I hold that so sacred. I feel like it depends on how you hold yourself. So you can say no depending on, like, even if you really love that person, it's like you want yourself more.
I think it's also the fact that you expect the best out of your partner. Like you see them in such a highlight that you don't expect them to treat you poorly until it happens and you're like, well, they've never done this before, so they won't do it again.
Yeah.
And then they do it again and you're like, what's going on here? And you keep letting them do it, and you're like, damn, okay.
Are you going to change? Are you going to do something different?
But it's getting rough, but I love them so much because we stuck through all of this garbage when we don't need to.
Exactly.
So and that's why love is blind.
Don't get me started about that show.
Wait, so question. How long were you in the relationship before you realized it was toxic? Because for me, it didn't start out that way. Did it start out that way for you guys?
No,
it
didn't, but
they put on like an act, I feel like, or maybe they have this ideology they want to be, and I think that's what it was in my scenario. They had this ideology of who they want to be, and they acted like that. I believed it, more for me, and I believed it. And then obviously when you get deep into a relationship, even when you're around that person a lot, you get to see a lot of their traits, good or bad. You get to see a lot of their behavior, their attitudes, how they react to situations, how they handle situations. Like when you're having arguments, which is okay in a relationship. Arguments are toxic. I think it's just how you handle that argument, how they handle situations, and then you're like, oh, that's not you. That's not how you portrayed yourself to be. And they put up this image, so you're like, oh.
So why, when the toxic stuff happens, why don't we leave right away?
Because we're so like
no. I leave. Like I leave. I'm like, as soon as you show me something different, I'm out. Like I ain't gonna give you the second chance to do something.
I think it comes from experience because as a teenager, I was dumb enough to stick around. I'm just like, that's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him. You really don't need to. And after I realized my worth, after I realized like,
that's it.
Bitch, I'm amazing.
Period.
Why is this man cheating on me with
that part?
Shirley? Like,
or Becky.
Oh my gosh, it is never the hot girl. I was like, I have to worry about ugly girls.
Better than me. She makes more money than me.
I was like, go ahead, I understand.
If she is on the next level, go ahead. But me,
no, but I think it's like also attachment issues. Like you're kind of attached to what you have. Like for me, in my experience, I can speak on it. For example, for the first maybe a month, it was great, and it was this is lockdown, so it's like when COVID started.
See, that's not the time to have a relationship.
Yeah,
that's not the time. Everybody had an accidental relationship, like 6 talking stages at once.
Exactly.
You know what? I wish I had you there.
Wait, what did you say?
6 talking stages.
You gonna tell me that people did not talk to several people during the pandemic? You're lying.
Because you can't go out. You can't
go out. You with everybody.
They
don't know each other.
But
you talked to 7 brothers. Wait, 7 at the same time.
I didn't say I did. But I definitely knew people. I definitely knew people who did.
I think it's attachment as well. Like I was in my relationship like lockdown, like right before lockdown, but then lockdown happened, so I'm stuck in that. So you're in a bubble as well. So it was like, oh my god. So I feel like you get this facade, and then you're kind of, for example, I low-key have attachment issues. High key on the low key.
She had to let the people know.
But that was like a big thing. Like, so it's like I'm like, I will really ride you through that, and then it's like you don't really see a lot of things when you're kind of in this bubble. You're like, you put them on this pedestal. Like, you're so attracted to them. Like,
the problem is having
maybe
expectations.
the sexual side is like top tier.
No, actually, question is the toxic relationship that you were in the best sex you've ever had?
Yeah. No.
No.
Second, but yeah.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. I
it's
think
so
it's
toxic. You like. Do you ever hear like what you shouldn't have is what is the best thing like that you'll ever enjoy, but what you should do for yourself that's actually what's actually best for you isn't always the easiest, and that's why it's not.
I'm sorry. I had to do mental gymnastics to get through that. I'm really sorry. Like, wait.
Actually,
What's
To
best
be
for
fair,
me?
the alcohol's kicking in. So
What's
My
best?
wording was
Okay,
so
first
off
of all.
there, but it's like what's best for you is always the hardest thing to do for you yourself, because it's like you really need to go through the hardest stuff. You really need to build that discipline, self-discipline.
the problem is we get comfortable.
Behavior, be out of your comfort zone. All of that in order to really do what's best for you. Like, it's never ever going to be easy. I think we always think it is like, yeah, we can have easy sex and great sex with a guy that's toxic, but in 5 years or actually, let me give you 6 months or 2 months.
Weeks. 2 weeks.
No, actually,
Each day is a strike.
It's gonna affect your life. It affects your mentality. It affects how you have future relationships. Whether that's a relationship with your future husband, or actually your partner, like girl or boy, or your friendships. It affects how you act in that, because that's where trust issues stems from. A lot of issues do stem from that. It could be from your family, like other issues.
That is how it starts.
So
That is
question
fully
for the
People come from good relationships, good homing, good everything, and they can get in a toxic relationship and it can mess them up.
for the toxic relationship you were in, how long were you in it?
Okay.
2 months.
3-4 months.
Wow. That I can applaud.
Wait,
To be
Okay,
honest.
okay, 2 months.
It depends on which one I'm talking about. But if we're gonna talk about the worst one,
Yeah.
it took like 2 years.
2 years.
But it was codependency.
Okay.
You know, chokehold.
2 years. On and off, though.
2 years.
3 months, I think.
3 months. So,
Nice.
so you guys, the basketball girls leave.
Like I told you, as soon as you switch up, I'm not giving you another chance to switch up on me. I'm
I
like,
got to a
bye.
point where he messed up, and then I think he tried to check me about that because he felt so paranoid around me, like looking at his phone or something. And
my
then
gosh.
I was like, you're actually being a jerk. I was like, man, like me. I was like, you're paranoid about me. I was like, me.
Something.
After you messed up, I was like, no, you're actually a jerk. Like, I think I checked him out. I was like, no, I'm actually too good for this.
I think for me, to be fair, like for that 2 year relationship, that was when I was 18.
Yeah.
I was like 18, 19.
That makes sense.
So, you know, like this was my first time in college being with somebody like super close all the time. Like, cause you know, my parents were on my ass. Like, they're not gonna let no boy come into the house.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like that codependency kicked in very fast because I was around him all the time and I just let shit slide. And he let shit slide on my end too. Feel bad for him on that, but
Yeah.
he definitely did me worse than I did him. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I grew from that relationship and I figured out how to get my shit together and realized like I definitely deserve way better than this.
So then, did you never have a toxic relationship again?
Since then, no, actually I haven't.
Okay, so the
Can
last.
For the
I
most
go
part, they were healthy.
Off from that, I feel like that's where we actually need to play off. Like, we need to accept our part in this stuff. Like, we can talk about toxic men all we like.
Yeah.
We were toxic too.
Okay.
Like, even if okay, cool. I had a few.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I definitely gone through my man's phone. Like,
like
Wait. Out of everyone here, how many have gone through a guy's phone before?
no, so
Never?
I
Never.
haven't since then.
not my phone. So basically, with my guy, cool. 3-4 months into it,
Come
I think
closer to the mic.
there was a time I was like, he was acting so jealous, and I was like, why are you acting so jealous? Like, there must be something you want to hide. So for the first time in my whole life, in my whole relationship life, I went through his laptop.
Oh, okay. What'd you find?
So you
Same
know
thing
how
happened to me.
So you know how Max and iPhone syncs up. So I've gone through it and I'm like, oh, this is your ex thing. This is your ex. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, why am I seeing FaceTime calls and you're in a relationship with me? Why am I seeing text messages? I'm like, no way, this is crazy. So I also feel like we do play our part, like essentially. Like, it takes two. I always believe that. Like, I would never blame the guy for everything that's happened in our relationship. The mess he caused me mentally,
Right.
Because I feel like I also enabled it to an extent.
Well, and we make a choice to stay. So you
Yeah.
can't
so
say.
it's a conscious decision I made to make it work with you after, till the point where you got paranoid around me, and I was like, no, F this.
when you're in love, you really forget what logic is.
Yeah.
like your emotions really start kicking in.
You choose to believe the better.
Therapists actually literally will not take certain like clients that are in love because your brain chemistry is so different when you're in that state of like love and infatuation. So like, and therapists also say like cheating like goes two ways. Like you can enable that behavior that brings someone to that level where they cheat on you. You know,
they think it's okay. Like if we allow them to think it's okay, it's like when you're a mum. Like, if you allow your child to think certain behaviours okay, they're going to carry on doing it. If you don't check your child, whip their ass, like, they're going to be thinking it's okay. Like, you should have whipped your son's ass and maybe he would have been better to me.